And another episode of NBA 2K14. The last episode, as Golden State Warriors knock off the Phoenix Suns in a Taiwan, winning by 5, 124 to 119 in the closest one here in Phoenix. And coming up next, we have the first two parts of doubleheader on ESPN Wednesday at the Dallas, and tomorrow we're going to Sacramento as Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers take on Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. It's just the real life between those two. I like the matchups between Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis in 2025 real life, and then it was 2014 featuring Kobe Bryant and Monte Ellis. Actually, Kobe Bryant and Dirk Nowitzki. It's kind of a good game. So this was the final matchup between these two. I reminded the 2K12 and the first two were win by the Mavericks in real life. So, the second matchup here was the Lakers holding up to beat the Mavericks in real life, but it's actually wrong. So, for this game, the Lakers gonna use the purple and the Mavericks gonna use the white. But that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We'll be right back after this. Enjoy the video here at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, as a double AC, also known as American Airlines Center. We send it over to Kevin Harlan in Dallas. Anyways, enjoy the video and let's get started. Let's get ready and start the game. Send it over to Kevin Harlan in Dallas. Enjoy the video.
Hi and welcome. This is Damon Bruce and you're watching 2K Sports. It's the NBA, served to you weekend style. It's the Los Angeles Lakers going up against the Dallas Mavericks. And now we head out to Dallas with Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg.
I'm not afraid.
Hi everyone, Kevin Harlan along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. We're here to present the NBA on this Saturday afternoon. And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. First for Los Angeles, Nash and Bryant in the backcourt. And holding down the middle out of Central Michigan University, the skilled and ambidextrous 7-footer, Chris Kaman. Then there's Nick Young, and it's Gasol right at the 4. And for the Mavericks, Devin Harris is out there with Ellis. And filling in at the center position, the 7-footer with the silky touch and the master of the fadeaway jump shot, Dirk Nowitzki. Then there's Carter, and it's Marion in at the 4 spot.
Hey, you really can't say the Mavericks were a bad team last year. They were just a little below par compared to what we've been accustomed to. They just were not nearly as deadly offensively, and that's always a recipe for struggles in the West.
And for the Mavs against the rest of the West, you were just talking about, Clark, they went 24 and 28 against the rest of the conference. And while that is all right, Steve, it's not going to get you into the playoffs.
Not with the depth of this conference, Kevin. And I think you have to be at least 500 this year against the rest to get in. The Mavs know this, and they've been a perennial playoff team for a long time. They just couldn't quite get everything together last season.
And so it's the Mavericks getting on the board first. On its way from Young for 2. Good, and the assist goes to Nash.
You know, that's one way he can finish, but not the only way. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Back to Nowitzki. Count it from 12.
Easy little jump shot for him right there, guys.
Ellis on defense. It's a 3-point game. Kobe gets a screen from Gasol. And he lays in the alley-oop.
No hesitation at all on that alley-oop. Saw his teammate with the path to the hoop, and bang! Lob is right up there for him.
And he was ready for it, elevated, made the catch. You saw the result.
And I like the choice, making the conservative finish, making sure of the 2 points.
Young with the steal. He kicks to Gasol, pass to Kobe, and Dirk Nowitzki gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, he had not established position.
You know, I'd prefer the refs to whistle at a block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call there.
First quarter, just over a minute played. And the pass to Kobe. A baseline J. And another basket for the Lakers.
That bounce pass got him the ball in rhythm. Nice play.
You know, it was last year, not too many people had the guts to say whether or not the Lakers would or would not make the playoffs after their slow start. But one person who guaranteed a postseason appearance by them was team leader Kobe Bryant. And he was right on top of it.
Lakers have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for him to start off this game. Carter with the block. Out of bounds, Dallas will take possession. The Mavericks have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. And for Kobe, you have to give him a lot of credit for helping bring the Lakers back last season and securing that 7th seed. The coaching changes, the injuries. I mean, he almost willed them to get in, and then they finished 7th.
Yeah, and then they got swept in the first round by the Spurs. So tough finish to the year, especially with the injury to the Achilles tendon. So it's been a long rehab process. One thing you do know, as a player who's going to work his hardest to come back better than ever, it's Kobe Bryant.
And Doris Burke spoke with Mike D'Antoni. Doris?
Concern seemed to be how to contain Monte Ellis on the offensive end. He said, quote, no matter where he is on the floor, he is a threat to score because he can get into the lane whenever he wants. We'll just have to try and get the ball out of his hands on the offensive end. We'll see if they can do just that.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Johnson gets the bucket. If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first.
You know, last season, a lot of folks had the Lakers picked as the super team in the West, the team that would maybe challenge Miami and LeBron, but from the start, it just never was a cohesive group and really had one of the most disappointing seasons in the Lakers' history.
Kobe attacking. That's good, and Johnson with the assist.
Great move to the hoop, and I love the finger roll finish.
Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Carter with the bucket. As you said, the Lakers had a lot of lofty expectations put on them, but you never know what's going to happen when a team is put together. And Steve, they just couldn't reach that bar that was set so high for them.
Yeah, the expectations were so high, Kevin, but injury issues cost them all season long. Nash, Howard, Powell, and of course Kobe with the Achilles at the end of the year. And that unit only started 7 games all season together, so they never really were able to develop any chemistry. And the story of this game in the early stages is just how well they've been shooting the ball.
Steve, their percentage from the floor is really impressive up to this point.
Now here is Carter. 9 points in the game so far. Johnson, and the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball. Los Angeles leading by 6.
I see him.
Nash kicks to Johnson. And the foul on Monte Ellis. That is his first foul of the game. Big group substitution here for the Lakers. Robert Sacre, he's checked in for Hill. Jamison comes in for Pau Gasol. Steve Blake's checked in for Kobe. And it's Farmar in for Steve Nash. .107 left here in the first quarter. Jamison drives in. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the basket by Blake.
Well, Kevin, probably his greatest value lies in his tremendous three-point shooting. He's out on the perimeter. It gives them the ability to really stretch the defense out.
And I also want to point out how good he is at positioning himself defensively near the bucket. He knows how to draw a charge.
Mavericks trailed by 9. West kicks to Ellington. The shot's good on the assist by West. Ellington's got his first 3 points of the game.
The rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
He feeds it to Farmar. Dishes it to Johnson. Pass to Sacre. Right on him. Back to Johnson. Kicks to Farmar. Here's the 3. And another 3 for the Lakers.
Has pretty much been the norm for them. Getting their points off assists and great ball movement.
Nice rhythm and flow for this team. Tremendous communication and alertness.
The shot's good from Ellington.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
Poked loose. It's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession. Jody Meeks, he's checked in for the Lakers. Here's Farmar. Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Right with the double team. Farmar dishes to Sacre, and the layup's good off the glass.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should really continue to work it down low, Clark. That's really going to free up the rest of their offense.
And he dumps it down.
I couldn't have dreamt of a much better start than what they've had here today.
Everything's worked, especially offensively. And what a lead they have already to show for it.
Here is outside.
At the horn. They end the quarter on a high note. What a big shot.
I'll say that'll put a little bounce in their step coming back out of this break.
And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Los Angeles on top, leading by 7. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. And first quarter is in the books. Second about to get underway. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle stats for the Lakers.
They've set the first half tone by really getting out in transition.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
Here's Blake, guarded by Marion. Kamen backing down. Jamison fires from deep. That one's good. And Jamison's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for Los Angeles.
You know, the Mavs, like many teams, are always aware of who the free agents are that might help them become better. And prior to last season, they made sure they got their finances in order to make a run at Darren Williams to bring him home to Texas. Didn't work out, but they did the same thing this last offseason.
Young's shot is off. Mavericks trailed by 10. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Bruce. Doris, over to you.
Guys, the Los Angeles Lakers, a team that's used to attracting marquee free agents from other teams, not losing their own in free agency. But this offseason, Dwight Howard decided to move on, turning down a larger guaranteed contract with the LA Lakers. A tough blow for the league's banner franchise, who've taken out a number of huge billboards around town asking Dwight to stay. Sources said he wasn't overjoyed with the system the Lakers employed under head coach Mike D'Antoni, and also perhaps didn't enjoy playing alongside the always hyper-intense Kobe Bryant. Guys, we'll just have to see how big of a setback that becomes for this team's championship aspirations.
Well, we'll see if the Lakers can find a way. Thank you, Doris. And the Lakers making a change here. Lyons checked in. Harris kicks to Merritt. And good coming on the assist from Devin Harris. Harris has got 3 assists now in this one. And for the Mavs, they know that in order for them to remain competitive and not go through a traditional rebuilding phase where they're going to finish at the bottom for a few years, Steve, they're going to have to lure some free agents.
And one way or another, their top brass has always made sure that they would be able to move contracts around and make an offer to whatever big-name player was out there. But think about it. The last 2 years, they had unlimited cap room, unable to lure that big free agent fish to Dallas.
Blake with it. He's guarded by Ellis. And here's Young from the arc. That is good. Young's got 5 points so far. Mavericks trailed by 9. Ellis, the pass to Nowitzki. Another three for Dallas.
12 straight points coming off three-pointers. I mean, somebody do something defensively.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, who's going to step up? I mean, they're rolling out there now, so you got to get in their chest, make them uncomfortable, and try to deny those looks.
And the Lakers making a change here. Gasol's checked in. Here's Kobe. And Ellis with the block. Nowitzki with it. He's got 5. They get a hand on it. Here's Hill. And a strong finish with 2 hands.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah. A beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close. Well, when you combine Dirk's height with his touch and his release, which is basically behind his head, he becomes impossible to defend. And unless he's just missing his jump shot that night, you're in for a long night.
Especially when you couple it with his knack for playing with his back to the basket when he wants to. Often Dirk will catch it on the low block, lean into a defender to create some space, and then the next thing you know, he's up in the air knocking down that jumper.
Lakers still pursuing another title, but it would be a real shock if that were to come this year. A lot of age and injury on this team. They lose Dwight Howard. This is a club that just doesn't have enough athleticism and speed to contend for a title.
And here's Nash. Jose Calderon getting his 3 to go. That's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession. Hill sets the screen for Johnson. Nash kicks to Johnson. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assist. 6 points for Johnson. Well, back to the Lakers. Clark, you think they're too old? Is this a team that needs to rebuild?
Not yet, Kevin. The saying is young doesn't win in the NBA. I think for them, health and chemistry are the most important factors. Also, I think this is a franchise that has shown it can make a home run deal like acquiring Mavericks in 2007. Got 2 titles out of that move. I think they'll look to add some youth to their bench and restructure the personnel a bit, and they'll position themselves for another run, perhaps.
Rest outside. Pass to Nowitzki. Working on Gasol. Nowitzki dishes to West. Another 3 for Dallas.
And the last 5 makes, all have been from long range.
Yeah, the defense has not done a good job of pressing in and denying. They're hanging back, playing on their heels. They're not being the aggressors here, and the offense is taking advantage of it.
And the Mavericks with some changes. Brandon Wright's checked in for Dallenby. Blair comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Devin Harris subbed in for Jose Calderon. 2-on-1 as they jump on the break. And
Huge play.
I don't know. This is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is the 2 points, not the dramatic.
oh, come on, Clark. He had to go for it, didn't he?
I'm with you, Kevin. You can't fault him for that. They just let him go. Who cares?
It's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
You hear the crowd? I don't think they agreed with the officials on that one.
Steve, I tell you what, they're really letting him have it.
They double team Kobe. Out of bounds. Dallas takes possession. And the Lakers with some changes. Robert Sacre comes in for Jordan Hill. And it's Jody Meeks in for Kobe. And here is Harris. He's got 5. West passes to Harris. The shot's good on the assist by West. 8 points for Devin Harris.
It seems like they've given up far too many points from the three-point shot today. A lot of open looks out there.
I agree, Steve. The defensive rotations have been abysmal. Those defenders look like they're out of gas. I mean, they're getting pushed around on the low block.
Well, their energy is lacking, and they've got to start playing harder and battle down in the paint.
The open shot by Johnson. Again. The Lakers.
Fantastic pass. He turned that one into a pretty easy basket for his teammate.
Harris with it. And here's West for 3. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
That's a nice way to end the half. The big 3 to take. Take the lead as we go to the break.
And the first half ends in a close one. Mavericks lead by 2. And we'll get going after this from the American Airlines Center.
Now, presented by Sprint. It's halftime, and I'm Damon Bruce. An excellent game going on at American Airlines Center. For the Dallas Mavericks, they have the lead against the Lakers. They've dialed in from long range, an incredible shooting performance from outside. Delonte West not having any problems out there. We're at halftime, and still, he hasn't missed a shot. It's been a pure shooting exhibition. Not to be outdone, the Lakers also giving it their all. It's been a scintillating open court attack. They hold a major advantage in fast break points. Wesley Johnson's been on a roll in the first half. He's got 8 points, and he's been able to provide some nice assists as well. And that's all we got for you here in the studio. Time to send you back out to Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris for the start of the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back as we take a look at the Central Business District here in Dallas, Texas.
Certainly was not the year the Mavs expected or had in mind last season. After retooling and expecting a playoff appearance, they ended up out of the playoffs and looking for answers.
Goes up.
Wow, what is that athletic play? Incredible.
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, startling that he'd even try that right now.
Here's Kobe. The stupendous finish in traffic. Kobe's got 8 points. And back to the Mavs, 24-17 at home, which is a solid record, but he has to be better than solid, I think, Steve, to get into the playoffs in the Western Conference.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Kevin. And you think about the Mavs' shortcomings last year. I mean, Dirk being hurt early, so they didn't mesh well. And then when he did come back, there probably was too much ground to make up. So hopefully Dallas can have a full season of health for Dirk and the rest of the roster.
Count the bucket. Kobe's got 4 this quarter.
He's one of the elite scorers in league history, able to create space for his shot with unbelievable footwork and ball handling ability, fundamentals, and of course, unfazed by an aggressive defender.
Well, he's used to being the focal point of the defense, so that doesn't bother him at all. Never phases him. It also doesn't faze him when he misses shots. He always believes he's a shot away from going on a run, and he's always hungry for buckets.
Well, that pass had just a little bit too much heat on it for him to make a clean steal.
Yeah, I think it would have been a tough catch for either of them.
Tipped away. There's the three. There it is. It's Nash picking up the assists. Nash has got 4 assists in the game.
Well, I'm going to drop a little knowledge on you here, guys. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the 180 club, but it's players who've had a season shooting 50% from the field, 40% from long range, and 90% from the line. You add those up, that's 180. Nash had done it 4 times, and I think last season should qualify as his 5th. He's got 44% from 3, 92% from the line, and 49.7% from the field. I round those numbers up, so that's a 50-40-90 season in my book.
Mavericks leading by 3. Vince Carter on the wing. And it's Dallas with another.
Feels like a flip has been switched at halftime because both teams now really getting after it.
And it's been a fun half of basketball, Steve.
Yeah. Here's Kaman, and you know that's going to be goaltending, guys, so that's a free basket right there.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
And the crowd immediately letting the officials have it after that whistle.
A very unpopular call there.
Calderon kicks to Ellis. Pulls up on the wing. Good. He hits the jump shot. Ellis has got 8 points. And Clark, going back to the 180 club you talked about, Nash has now done that 4 or 5 times, depending how you count last season.
Well, he stands apart in that. I mean, it's only happened 12 times in NBA history. Larry Bird was the only player to do it more than once before Nash did. So, yeah, you're talking about one of the great shooters ever in Steve Nash.
Shots good by Ellis.
This defense is giving their shooters free rein to operate from behind the arc.
That's right. I think it's time for them to start closing down. You've got to run shooters off that three-point line.
Dallas leading by 4. Blair with it. Now guarded by Sacre. And now we're 3 minutes into the third quarter of play. Hold it on. That's good.
So much of what ailed the Lakers could be traced to the lack of defensive presence. And it really came to a head when Magic Johnson, one of the greatest Lakers of all time, called them out about looking to play Showtime offense while not paying attention to solid defense.
Shots good from Young.
Textbook right there. Nice pass, great catch, beautiful finish.
And the Mavericks call time here. And going back to what Clark said, they didn't actually try to run that much based on tempo, more than what they might have been used to, certainly, Steve, but the D was a concern a major way.
Well, it was really more about teams running wild on them instead of the other way around. You look at the Laker personnel, big front line last year with Howard and Gasol. The transition defense wasn't quite there. You throw in the injuries, but they were never able to find that balance between good offense and solid defense.
Looking at who's out there now for the Lakers. Pau Gasol's checked in for Robert Sacre, and Kobe is subbed in for Nick Young. Carter dishes to Nowitzki. We've got 1:13 left in the third. Vince Carter the bucket, and the assist by Nowitzki. 14 points for Vince Carter.
Absolutely on fire from beyond the arc.
Yeah, that's where he's getting his points.
Carter comes in with the double team. Out of bounds. Dallas takes possession.
Well, I think that pass caught him off guard, but he showed us board hands, too.
And Los Angeles with some changes. Jordan Hill, he's checked in for Kaman. And Steve Blake is subbed in for Jordan Farmer. Again, the Mavericks score.
Well, you got to like his shot selection today. He set a good example for the rest of his teammates.
Hill, and it's good. Hill's gotten 10 points in the game.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Yeah, that's 5 of their last 6 baskets inside the lane. They have really established themselves inside.
Nick Young's checked in for Los Angeles. Nash comes in for Kobe. It's back to Hill. Yes, and it's Blake picking up the assist. Now just a 5-point Maverick lead.
Boy, they are just destroying them in the paint.
You could say that again, Steve. The defenders just aren't aggressive enough down low.
Here's Nowitzki. And another basket for Dallas.
Well, he's showing some kind of a killer instinct this quarter, trying to stretch this lead out.
Doubled by Calderon. Gasol passes to Young. Again, the Lakers.
And his confidence has come back since halftime after really a rough first 2 quarters.
Carter with a three. Another three for Dallas.
They are killing him with that 3-point shot here in the second half.
Well, the defense fully stretched out trying to stop that shot and still not able to get it done.
That one goes. Count it.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
And a great show. Through 3 quarters as we enter the 4th. Who will carry the day? The Mavericks on top. They lead by 6. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The 4th quarter is coming up next. The 4th quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. All right, we'll all look at how the points have been generated so far. Scoring breakdown for Dallas.
Man, they keep piling up the assists. Great ball move.
Boy, it's been a super performance from beyond the arc, too. I mean, they've been raining in those threes.
And here's Nash following Monte Ellis' three. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
A lot of noise coming from these fans. Pretty unhappy with that call.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of amateur officials in the crowd, and not one of them liked it.
Pau Gasol is checked in for Jordan Hill. Mavericks leading by 5. Harris outside. Back to Ellis. The dish to Harris. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Ellis has got his 7th assist in the game.
They're going back to the 3-point shot over and over and over.
That was the 9th straight point from behind the arc, Clark. It feels like they're finding the holes in this defense.
He dishes it to Marion. Gets it to go.
An assist like that is typified their execution. Great ball move.
Really an example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Wesley Johnson's checked in for the Lakers. Blake comes in for Steve Nash.
For a little while in the recent past, it seemed as though the Mavericks were becoming a slowdown team, but last year they got back to running and gunning and ended up being one of the best offensive teams in the league.
Kobe with the steal. Now here's Kobe, the fast break opportunity. That's the bucket. Kobe's got 9 points now in just the second half.
He's one of the best in the league at that. Even with just a tiny sliver, he always seems to find a way to get it up and in.
Ellis goes in, out to Harris. Drains the 3-point. And the Mavericks lead by 12. As you said about the Mavs, 6th in the league in fast break points, and a lot of that was due to the crossing, Steve.
Yeah, when you have Dirk and the other bigs that they have, they can get a break going in a hurry if you don't back up defensively. So it wasn't a surprise that they were up there in both fast break points and assists because of their fluid nature offensively.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hi, guys. I had a chance to find out what Mike D'Antoni was discussing with his players. He let his players know that they've got to do a better job on defense. He said they're scoring any way they want. We've got to show some pride here. Let's make a stand defensively, get a stop, and get on a run of our own. Do they have it in them, Kevin?
Unstoppable offense from both teams. I love the pace this game has been played at.
So does everybody else in the building. This has been a fun one.
Now here's Ellis. Back to Nowitzki. Fades. That's short off the rim. Lakers trail by 8. Now Blake. Back to Gasol. Uncovered. Yes, and it's Blake picking up the assist. 8 points for Pau Gasol.
They're earning their points with the jump shot now.
Yeah, that's 6 of their last 10 points coming in that in-between range.
Marion kicks to Nowitzki. Hits the fadeaway. Nowitzki's got 21 in the game.
Well, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
The 19-foot shot, and again, Nick Young.
And yeah, they're moving the ball now. 8 of their last 10 points coming off assisted buckets.
Steve, nothing makes a coach smile as much as pure, selfless teamwork.
And stolen by Kaman. Gasol dishes to Kobe. With the floater, and that one's good. And now just a 4-point Dallas lead, and a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Lakers.
Their activity at the defensive end, Kevin, has been really impressive. Attacking and coming away with steals.
They've been firing on all cylinders in the transition game, too. I mean, they've really run the break well.
Steve Nash is checked in for Los Angeles. That is good.
That's far too good a look to give them from behind the arc.
Well, that's 3 of the last 5 makes having been behind the three-point line. So, got to make some adjustments defensively.
There's the lob to the hoop. Plays it in off the alley-oop.
Nice silky finish on the alley-oop.
That sequence, I don't think Clark could have been executed any better.
Stupendous feed.
Boy, I hope we see a few more of those.
Outside Carter, another 3 for Dallas.
So nice to have a guy like that who can take charge at any time.
Yeah, so many of his passes. Steve has led directly to baskets.
It makes it so easy for your teammate when you can lead him with a pass like that one.
Mavericks leading by 6. And it's Nowitzki penetrating. A look for Marion. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Dirk Nowitzki. 8 points for Sean Marion. And the Lakers have possession. Nash the pass to Gasol. Chris Kaman again.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
Kobe with the steal. The feed to Gasol. Puts one up. Out of bounds. Dallas will take possession. 1:14 left to play here in the 4th. Nowitzki kicks to Ellis. Back to Nowitzki. From 10 feet out. No good. So Los Angeles will take it the other way.
It's going to take something special, maybe a miracle, for them to come back right now.
How about a little luck?
And the foul on Monte Ellis. That's foul number 2 for him.
Looked to me like the defender didn't get squared up and get his feet set.
Good work by the officials. Nice call. That play can be tough to judge sometimes. You know, on defense, even on an inbounds play, you can't leave three-point shooters alone on the perimeter. They paid for it there.
Nowitzki nails it. Seconds left in the 4th quarter. Good! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
Boy, he quieted the crowd with that big shot. That's a big play. Yeah, the crowd's been hoping for something to cheer for, but nothing.
Dallas can't get it to go.
He certainly didn't take advantage of the poor defense, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
No, that's for sure, because this guy's too good of a shooter to miss that look consistently.
And Gasol gets it to go. And the action on hold as it appears there's been an injury. Yep, he's definitely in a bad way out there right now. Tough to see.
And you see a player have to come out of a game like this and you just hope for the best.
That's exactly right. You do hope for the best. You cross your fingers, say a prayer, and hope it's nothing major. We'll see what the update is here shortly.
Brandon Wright's checked in for Sean Marion. Good on the first, and then we'll put them up by 2. And he hits both free throws in, so now it's a 3-point game.
That last free throw was critical. Their only choice now is to go for the 3 to tie.
Feeds to Keenan. Yes! And that shot brings them to within just 1.
Oh, what a basket, and at the perfect time.
The courage and backbone of this guy. Wow.
That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yep, you got to extend the game here. Try to keep that clock from moving.
So he gets them both, and it's a 3-point game. And here comes Kobe. Nash outside. Nick Young on the wing. Drops the first one. That brings them within 2 here. And so Young nails them both.
That was critical, guys. Absolutely critical. And, that's what we're used to seeing out of them.
And the Mavericks call time here. They're up by 1. 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And there's the intentional foul. No choice but to stop the clock here. He hits the first one, and that will put them up by 2. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 3-point game.
And a chance here to send it into overtime.
Need a 3.
So it's an early victory for the Mavericks, pulling out the W. Of course, it was anybody's game right to the very end.
Yeah, it was. The coach is happy with the outcome, but maybe not so much with the margins.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Dirk Nowitzki.
What a game all about here in Dallas, Texas, as the Mavericks haul off, defeat the Lakers. It's a close game right now, 114 to 111. And we are going the next game right now, heading to Sacramento here at the Sleep Tree Arena, as JaVale McGee and the Denver Nuggets take on the DeMarcus Cousins of the Sacramento Kings. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenchance. The Final Four will begin tomorrow night. Features the Florida Gators take on Auburn Tigers, and the Duke Blue Devils take on Houston Cougars. As the final score once again is the Mavericks beat the Lakers 114 to 111 in a close one here in Dallas. And this is Andre Kenshin saying song for the American Airlines Center in Dallas. We will see you tomorrow here in Sacramento as the JaVale McGee and the Denver Nuggets take on the Marcus Cousins of the Sacramento Kings. Once again, it's time to say sign up and peace out. Good night, and reminder, we will see you tomorrow here in Sacramento for the Denver Nuggets and the Sacramento Kings. Good night and peace out.